Hello, there we go. Fucking hell. Welcome back to another episode of Cowboy Window. It's me, it's Luke. We're doing a classic episode, but not a classic episode, just the normal classic episode. Hope everyone's doing well. Fuck it. Luke, mate, how's your week been?
Good. It feels like I've spoke to you loads recently because we were obviously at the podcast last day, and then we trained on Sunday, and then it's Tuesday now. So
we did indeed. We did we went to the coach with some of the Built Not Born athletes. If you don't know Built Not Born, get to know, I guess. And we did some training. We chatted some shit, got some cool clips. And yeah, that was good, mate. So fucking anything new since Sunday, I guess?
Not that I can think of, no. How long have you been? So you coach them?
What was that?
You coach both of the boys that came on Saturday?
Sunday? No, they're not clients.
Oh, okay. How did you guys meet
we met in Graftism. So it was Ryan and Rio. We met. I think Ryan spotted me on like a close grip bench ages ago, and that's how we met. And then I saw Ryan and Rio used to train together all the time. I gave Ryan a follow. Eventually kind of like got to know Ryan a bit better, saw that he trained with Rio, met Rio. And then when I was doing my pre-prep, both of those guys were in prep. Ryan was coached by George Osborne, Rio was coached by Finn. And so, yeah, like fucking, we were like talking about preps and coaches and stuff. And then became mates. And then afterwards, Ryan was getting quite a lot of traction on social media and was kind of flinging himself deeper into bodybuilding. So I was like, okay, could be a good contender for B&B. And so, yeah, I do want to sponsor Rio eventually, but Rio is like, as we kind of spoke about at the weekend, he's got some stuff that he wants to sort out first, which is fair enough. And then I'm sure we'll be able to nab him for a sponsorship. But yeah.
Cheeky.
Yes, bruv. Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think biggest development.
You since Sunday?
Yeah, I was going to say the biggest development is I'm self-coaching. Well, I say self-coaching. I'm wrapping up my final 4 weeks of Tom. So
you're gonna get fat now?
Yeah, pretty much. So I for anyone that doesn't know, I got gyno, which is sick. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs. Luke's heard me chat about the ins and outs, and I'm not trying to put anyone on blast. It's not. All I'll say is it's not my fault. It's a previous coach's fault. That's the most that I'll go into publicly, which I'm pissed about. And without going into detail, the reason that it's not another coach's issue that side effect occurred. It's another coach's fault that even though I flagged it up as, hey, this isn't going away, despite us making interventions to make it go away, I was told it will be fine, just stay with it. And I did, and it didn't. So sick, which is annoying, because it is a deep insecurity. So I kind of, it's not Tom's fault, by the way. This is not Tom. Okay, just clear that out. It's not Tom. But we like, I kind of was like, okay, I want to get this surgery cleared up because I don't want to get on stage because I'm already insecure about it enough in the off season. People say it's not huge. Like I've been telling like my family and my missus, and they were like, I couldn't even tell. And I was like, I can. I mean, you saw me in person.
When you focus on it, you know it's there. It's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like when people think like, oh fucking hell, everyone's looking at me in the gym. Like, no, you're just thinking about it, and that's why it feels that way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see me pose in person, and like you can kind of sort of hide it, but like,
yeah,
it's there. Like it is there. Like I was training when I went to go see Dan, my client. I was like, like I've got some gyno, and he was like, yeah, I can see it, and I was like, yeah, that's fair enough. Like, cheers for being honest. Like it is annoying, and like looking back, I've had some since I was a teenager. But it's gotten worse. I didn't realize I had some previously, but looking back, I definitely had some, but not to a big extent. But yeah, so I've got that booked in for around end of May. So I was like, okay, my timeline makes a lot of sense now. It'll be push up until then, get the surgery, hold. Afterwards, probably continue to hold body weight, get back my composition, because I imagine if I have to take 6 weeks off I'll drop down my PEDs, might lose a bit of tissue, come back, regain that tissue, and then I might do a tidy up into a pre-prep diet into prep back end of this year. So my timeline kind of is already preset, and so that's where kind of self-coaching came into it, because I was like, well, I'm gonna, for 6 weeks I don't really need a coach. I'm pretty comfortable with my timeline. I was already doing my own food and training, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a rest for now. I'll be back with Tom in prep, because I don't want to prep myself, not for a first prep. Particularly when I've got clients going through prep already. Like, I don't want to be thinking about myself and other people. I don't want to Finn Kelly myself of like, bless you, Finn. I don't want to like absolutely bury myself. So yeah, I when I told Tom there was like 2 days until my payment, so I said, look, I'm not going to be at bell end. Take the final payment. I'll pay for the next 4 weeks. And I'm still filling out his check-ins, but I'm kind of just like, it's a bit more hands off because I'm pretty much self-coaching now. Like, we were talking and he was like, I would suggest that you pull back on leg volume because it looks like you're struggling to recover a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I kind of agree. Reshuffled around my leg day a little bit. But yeah, so it's going all right, but it's going to be pretty much rinse and repeat for like the next few weeks. And then, yeah, there's not really too much that I like need guidance with, but I'll probably go back into coaching for prep, and especially post prep. And then, yeah, we'll take it from there. So that's probably the biggest thing that's changed, really.
Fair play. Yeah, like prep is a fucking head fuck at the best of times, let alone trying to do it yourself when you've got loads of other people to navigate around the same sort of time. Like, that's why Tom's competed so early, isn't it? Or competed so early, to be fair. And it's, yeah, it like, I'm still seeing it of people like just doing stupid shit when it comes to their prep, and like they've got a coach and they're programming shit fucking stupidly. Like, it might seem that, you know, my first show is in August. I'm not that fat, but I'm still starting really early. But I'd rather be ready too soon than have to like rush it in the end, because there's so many people that start prep too late, too fat, and eating too much, and they've just got to catch up from there. And shock fucking horror, it never ends well. Like, they just end up stringy, deflated as fuck, and then binging their way back up to the weight that they started prep at. Like, when you start in prep, you need to think that you're fatter than you think you are, you don't have as much muscle as you think you do, and you need longer than you think you should take in order to get in shape. No prep's absolute smooth sailing, but if you bear those things in mind and actually give yourself enough time and not fucking handicap yourself at the start, it's going to be a hell of a lot better. Yeah. But I still see people fucking up their prep every single year.
Yeah, I think
it should know better.
Yeah, it's like I think that there's always going to be an element of like, I think if you're a coach and you're comfortable with doing a prep yourself, having someone else to look over it's always nice. Because like, you're always going to prioritize other people's preps over your own, and you'll have clients in prep. If you're not a coach and you've not got clients in prep, then it's kind of like, okay, well, you're not a coach, so you're coaching yourself. So again, it's probably wise to have someone look over. And I think the biggest thing is just like removing that concern, like removing that second guess. Like, I've got clients in prep, I know I can prep someone, I know I can follow my own plans, so in theory I could prep myself, but that's just a hell of a risk to take on, or a hell of a stress. And I don't want to be, you know, second guessing myself, because it's so easy to do. Whereas I know that, like, if I go and like, Tom understands how I operate and works with me, and like, you know, I'm very confident in an off-season setting coaching myself, because there's very little to second guess. It's very objective, and you've got all of your faculties in check anyway. But going back to someone where I'll be like, hey, here's what the off-season looks like, here's the timeline I'm thinking, kind of let's crack on. Like, just having that kind of plan where it's like, okay, we're both in agreement here, does go a long way. I think long term, like, managing my own preps is something that like would be cool to do, but again, when there's no need to do it, like, why even take that risk? The same way that I, like, to be fair, if I was like going for a pro card or something for whatever fucking reason, I think I'd still want that reassurance.
Make it happen.
You what?
Make it happen.
Yeah, bro, first time round, come on. But like, I think it's just, can you, like, I think if you self-coach yourself to stage and you don't rinse the show, there's always going to be a little bit of what if. Whereas if you're working with a coach, or even if you're like running decisions past someone, like if I was prepping myself, I'd probably ping you messages all the time, Luke, and be like, what the fuck do we think here? Because that's
exactly.
with
Like anyone that preps themselves still has another eye.
Yep. It's just so difficult to stay objective because it means a lot to you and you're that close to it. And I think you have to, like, the best thing you can do as a coach or an athlete is just kind of like take your hands off the steering wheel a little bit and be open to being directed. There's a time and a place for it. Like, I think off seasons, if you're going to be anywhere, if you're going to be collaborative anywhere, it should be an off season. You don't have to be. Some people hate not being directed. Some people just want to be told where to go and go for it. Like, off season should be much more collaborative. Dieting, in my opinion, if you don't trust your coach to have full control, it's kind of like, well, why are you with that coach in a way? I'm sure you're going to have personal preference, sure, and that can factor into it, but it should be pretty much just like head down, kind of do as you're told, get in, get out, get it done, and not second guess things. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like, long term, I don't want to coach myself. It's just given the current timeline, the fact that it's going to be like 2 months of coaching, then 6 months of nothing, then again, pretty much rinse and repeat what I'm doing now for the rest of the year. It's going to be very similar. But equally, I did say to Tom as well, I said, like, hey, if I start self-coaching and it gets in the way of my best interest, I'm just going to come back, because I'm not going to commit to saying that I have to self-coach either. Because if I, have a real fucking head fuck post-surgery and I'm really struggling and I want someone there to kind of help me through that and give me like here's the timeline, here's the end, like light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing, or if business really picks up, or if my clients' preps are taking all of my brain power, or if there's just generally a lot going on, having someone take that burden away from you is good. But I think I think there's probably a lot of coaches who are not open to using another coach, and they definitely should be. And then there's also a lot of people who I think maybe are a little bit scared to self-coach as well. And again, it comes down to like just being very objective with yourself. And I feel objectively, I know that I can manage this off season effectively. If that changes, then sure. But there's a chance that I could fuck a prep for myself. So I'm not going to do that. There's just no need to. Like, completely hand on the Bible, if you said, Jack, could you nail a prep for yourself 100%? I can't say yes with certainty. I just can't. It's my first prep. I can't guarantee that I'll be that objective, so I'm not going to be.
Yeah, I think it's a fairly normal thing for somebody who, does bodybuilding and helps all other people with that sort of thing, to then not be able to have so much energy for themselves. Like, I was speaking to a guy here who's an accountant, and he was sort of saying that, like, by the time I deal with everybody else's finances, I can't really be fucked to deal with my own.
Yeah, and exactly.
It's not necessarily laziness. It's that you've done the fucking thing all day, and it's exhausting. And then, like, I have clients who work with spreadsheets all day, and they're like, can we reduce the amount in the data tracker, because I'm looking at fucking spreadsheets all day and I just can't be asked to fill out anymore.
Exactly. Again, it comes down to it's just mental energy. And like, I think if you are coaching a lot of people, coaching yourself alongside is an extra burden. A lot of people that we see out there self-coaching often have people around them to like manage things and kind of look over.
Those that don't are usually just making no fucking progress. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, you got Kuba as an example. Like, Kuba is great mates with AJ. He's got Mark around him all the fucking time. He's got Meg around him all the fucking time. Like, he's self-coached for a while. He pings stuff off Jordan all the time. Again, like, he's got a network of people that he will talk to and ask. And he's been self-coaching for a while, and he is very advanced. There's not going to be a lot of changes to what he does. It's going to be similar food, similar training, similar drugs, rinse and repeat, do it the same, similar volume landmarks, similar split. Judges' feedback plays into things. You make some adjustment, go again. It's like John Jewett. If you ever hear like John Jewett talk about his self-coaching, it's literally just like it's been the same for like 4 years. Like, the protocol that he runs is like something that he's built to himself over time. And obviously he's got people around him to double check stuff over with, but it's so rinse and repeat at that level that it's like, yeah, literally just fucking rinse and repeat. Like, even looking at like a similar level of stage weight plus or minus a few pounds, and again, it's like you said, once you've been managing something or you're managing so much of something, you just can't give the same level of energy and effort, and you have to be aware of that. And you just know, like, objectively, like, I'm just not going to prioritize myself as much as my clients. So then I have to ask, okay, but how bad is that? Is that going to cost me progress? How much is it going to cost me, etc.? Like, currently where I'm at, I think I can just rinse and repeat. I'm happy with my training, food, drugs, etc. So I'm pretty happy to just rinse and repeat, make some few tweaks here and there. If I was coming off the back of like needing everything to be completely rewritten and built from the ground up, then yeah, I probably would want the second eye over it. But yeah, I think a lot of people as well, like, you ever heard that thing where people are like, oh, I don't want to coach because I want my progress to be my own? You ever heard people say that?
Yeah, this is something I was thinking a minute ago. And there are definitely some coaches that like act as if it's only them that's responsible. Yeah. I can't remember if this was on the podcast or when I was with Paul on Friday. But something said there was like, it's the client's fault if they succeed and it's their fault if they fail.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's physically possible, but sometimes there won't be people that get the results that they said they wanted to when they signed up. Any coach that says they've got like 100% success rate is legitimately lying. Now, yeah, I'd like to think that ours is a hell of a lot better than, you know, the fucking apps and that sort of shit that you see out there that just get results through volume. But we've still got clients that don't get the results that they're after, and that's at times a mixture of somewhere where we could have done better, a mixture of where the client could have done something differently, and yeah, it's usually in between the two there. Like one of my I was with one of my PT clients the other day, and he's lost like fucking 25 pounds now. And one of the guys comes up to him while we're training, and he's like, "You've done, you've lost a lot of weight. Well fucking done, basically." And he points to me, and he's like, "Well, it's thanks to Luke." And I'm like, "No, mate, you've done it. I've just sort of told you what to do." Like, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird because, like, whenever someone immediately says, "Oh, you know, thanks, Jack, I appreciate it, but like, I want this to be my own thing," I'll say, hopefully they're usually of like driving age. I'll be like, "Do you know how to drive a car?" And they'll be like, "Yeah." And I'll be like, "Okay, you don't because someone taught you." And they're like, "Well, no, I do, because yeah, they got me to like pass the test, but I still have to drive constantly. And like, I still have to upkeep a certain standard. I still, you know, experience things and self-teach." And I'll be like, "Yeah, exactly. It's not as if you would say everyone who can drive can't drive. It's just down to their driving instructor." Like, no, absolutely not. The same way that, like, you know, if you've got any kind of education, I'll be like, "Nah, you don't know that. You've just had a lecturer. You've just been through school, mate. You don't actually know anything. You know how you can read and write? That's not you, bro. Like, congrats to your teacher." Like, obviously not. That's the thing, is ultimately, like, you can write what you think is objectively the best plan, or a plan that you can say with 99% certainty or 100% certainty, if you follow this, you will get progress. Doesn't mean they will. There's still a barrier to entry there. And like, you need progress. Results are very much the result of taking someone who will follow a plan and giving them a plan that they can follow that will get them there. Because you'll find people who can apply themselves, but, you know, they're plateaued and they just need the right plan, but they still have to apply themselves. And I think it's just such a weird kind of mindset. Like, I've never heard anyone be like, "Oh, Chris Bumstead got a coach. Chris, mate, sorry, you don't look quite as impressive."
No one says, "Oh, Chris didn't win those Olympias." Like,
yeah, like, but it's weird because you'll hear the same people be like, "Oh, Chris Bumstead." Like, I've heard people be like, "Oh, Chris Bumstead could go get coached by anyone and he'd make great progress." And I'll be like, "Yeah, to an extent, sure, I agree with that." So is it the coach or is it the athlete? Because they'll be like, "I don't want to coach, I want to manage myself." And then equally be like, "Oh, Chris Bumstead's such a good athlete. Doesn't matter who he's with. He could go to a pure gym PT, he'd still improve somewhere." And it's like, yeah, sure, but like,
I don't know about that, mate. There are some shit good PTs.
Well, depends what you mean by improve. But like, the thing is, like, it is just a collaborative effort, because you can't, like, a coach cannot give you progress, but they can show you how to take it for yourself, and it's still down to you to take it for yourself. And you're not going to be any less impressed by your results. People around you aren't going to be any less impressed by your results. And equally, if a coach does their job correctly, you will leave that process, because everyone leaves a coach eventually. You're not going to stay with a coach for the rest of your life, realistically.
Behavior.
You what?
Scandalous behavior.
Yeah, exactly. We actually, all of our clients are actually locked in lifetime contracts. Their children are also locked into a lifetime contract. We have we're like North Korea, 3-generational rule. Your grandkids will have to be coached by my grandkids. Anyway,
What if your grandkids aren't coaching?
they have to be. It's 3-generational rule.
Do they get like a Ouija board and summon you to coach them from the
No, I'm gonna be like an AI available. I'm gonna be like an add-on to ChatGPT that just says double the dose. Yeah, Archer.io. You ask any question, it would just say double the dose.
Yes. But, that is how most coaches do get it, to be fair.
To be fair, it does. Yeah, I mean, it works to an extent, but
it works until your heart doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking hell. Yeah, it works until your body gives out. But I mean, I've completely forgotten what the fuck we were even talking about. Holy shit. I forgot what my point was going to be.
What were we even talking about?
Something about holy shit. We'll leave this in the pod. This is hilarious. People don't want to coach because it like isn't their progress or whatever. What the fuck was my point?
Yeah. So the way that I look at this is like, okay, Jack, if you have a coach, do you think it's more or less likely that you're going to make the progress you're after?
Well, yeah, more, significantly more.
And if somebody's helped you, but you've made way more fucking progress, what do you think about
that? Yeah, I think you're literally you're prioritizing being able to say that no one helped you over having less progress. Can you imagine if someone was like, mate, you're not making much progress? You'd be like, yeah, but I've never gone to a coach before. They'd be like, well, no wonder.
It's hope. Oh my god.
It's like the driving thing. It's like, mate, you failed your test 8 times. Yeah, but I've never had one lesson. It's like, well, no shit, you're fucking failing.
Hey, imagine that, going to a driving test with no lesson.
You just use the driving test.
Imagine dude's face when you rock up.
Well, you wouldn't even be
before
that goes off. You're not even allowed feedback. You just be like, tell me if I failed or passed. Don't tell me why, because I'm here to self-teach. So I will figure out why I failed. It's fucking baffling, man. Like, that mindset really is so confusing and so backwards. And again, it's down to like your progress is not the coach's progress. Like, again, whenever you see coaches post results or me and Luke post results, like, we're congratulating the client for making that process follow through. Like, I can write you out whatever the fuck I want. Doesn't mean that you're going to stick to it. Doesn't mean you're going to do it. It's a collaborative effort, because like, yes, it's my job to make you a process and help you stick to it. But equally, like, you can just join a coach and just completely fucking brick wall them and just be like, nope. I'm going to pay you money and not listen to what you do, and like fucking stick my head in the sand. And like, that's not that coach's fault. You can't say that just because you're with the coach, you're going to make that progress.
Yeah, there's clients that I've got that when they started, I'm like, to be honest, mate, like me thinking this, they'd probably make progress without my help, because they're in a pretty good spot, and it's just a case of fine-tuning shit to fast-track their progress. And there's other people that, despite me fucking putting my hair out, I still can't get to make any progress because of all of the shit that they've got going on in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's unfortunately some people that for certain reasons aren't in a position to be able to change the shit that's stopping them at the moment. And like, that's okay. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I'll never understand a mindset of like not asking for help, because if you're interested in something enough to care about progress, surely you would want to hire a specialist in that area to help you make faster progress. Yeah. And again,
you know that you don't want to like massively overpay on your tax or get a stupid fucking bill. Do you think you should just learn to do it yourself? And you know when your car's fucked, do you want to take it to a mechanic, or do you want to try and do it yourself and just see if you can fix it? What do you reckon?
I've got a good analogy about mechanics and coach. I remember what my fucking my point's gone. Holy shit, I'm having a fucking morning, bro. What was the
first point? I'll try and remember what I was going to say after.
Oh my god, bro! I've completely forgotten my point. It literally popped into my head and then immediately fucking left.
Right.
Um,
What I was going to
bro.
say is like, part of the thing as well is like when you go to a mechanic, you're like, fucking hell, that's really expensive.
Mm,
And it's not like it costs them fucking a shitload of money to do it, but like coaching, you're paying with the expertise of knowing where to look.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you take your car into the garage and you go, oh, my car's fucked. And they're like, okay, what's the problem? And you're like, well, I don't really know, mate. That's why it's fucking here.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a much better idea of working out how to fix it, just like we do, compared to, say, the average person that goes to the gym and just fucking does whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're. I think it's easy when you're paying for something like that to not understand, particularly if it's like your first time going to a mechanic or a coach in this case. Like, it's easy to not understand the amount of money that you're saving yourself. Oh, that was my point. It was, you're not going to be with a coach forever. If a coach does their job correctly, you should have a much better understanding of how things work, but specifically for you, what you benefit from and why that could be the case. You don't need to know the huge ins and outs, that's fine, but you need to have a vague understanding. You'll have a better understanding, and again, you're then able to take that information and better self coach long term. And that's the thing, is you are reaching out for, it's like you're not being taught, you're not being directed. Like coaches and PTs were consultants. You give us a problem, we give you an idea of what the solution could be and how to implement that solution. We don't do it for you. We can't do it for you. If I could take control of your body and make you do it, yeah, like fucking, then yeah, that's not your progress. I'd happily say that. If I was controlling your body, made you eat, sleep, like give your fucking fluids, manage your stress, like if I lived your life for you, that's not your progress. Like
Your misses for you, all of that good stuff.
yeah. Like, but we can't do that. We're just consultants. Like we're consultants who are here to help you with like a certain specialist topic, and we give you an idea of what the problem is. You know, like you go get a PT session with Luke because your hip's fucked, and you go, I want to do this, that, the other, but it hurts. Luke gives you an idea of, hey, try this, this, and this. You work with Luke for a while. You go, you know what, Luke, thanks. I think we're pretty much done here. And then you're then not dealing with a fucked hip. Maybe something else flares up and you need to go back, but you've just saved yourself however the fucking much in physio, in rehab, in scans, in getting fucking x-rays, going to the GP, going private, dealing with that pain. Again, there's even the non-financial things. Like if you're a parent and you just want to like, you know, I mean, a lot of the goals that you'll see people is like, I want to be able to bend down and tie my fucking shoes. I want to be able to lift my kid above my head. Like how much money would you put on that? If you're giving someone the ability, even if we're focusing a little bit more mundane on someone who just really values the gym, like how much joy and quality of life does a good, healthy physique bring you? Like feeling confident, wearing clothes that you like, not being insecure, living for longer, having more energy, having better output. Like there are studies linking confidence to ability to get pay rises, having longer life satisfaction, having even there's a link between confidence.
That's one of the, not to get political, but one of the reasons why men get paid more than women is because they ask for the pay rise.
Yeah, I'll give you that to an extent. Yeah, like if you are, you know, a lot of things in life are very preferentially based on like being confident, like having a very attractive partner, like having a high paying job, getting opportunities. Like it all comes down to being confident, being comfortable with rejection, or not even thinking that rejection is going to happen. And like again, I remember when I first started coaching, I would cite studies of people who like were in better shape would generally be paid more, or like have better, I know, have like better job satisfaction or general life satisfaction, or live for longer. And like how much money would you put on those things? I think sometimes it's difficult because people don't quite realize how much value those things bring because they're too used to it. But you know, having an idea of like how to eat to sustain yourself in a way that's healthy, you can pass that on to people around you. You can make your friends, your family, your children, your loved ones live longer by accessing a coach who knows what they're doing. And it's like, how much monetary value do you put on that? Fucking thousands. I don't know about you, man. Like if I can make like my fucking girlfriend, my mum live longer, like holy shit, man, I'd pay a lot of fucking money to do that. And like to an extent I have. But I think that's the thing, is like people get very like, oh, my progress needs to be my own, and like it still is, man. And it's weird because people say that and then be keen to like learn from YouTube. And I could be like, do you watch Dr. Mike? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, well, then your progress isn't your own. Is it Dr. Mike's? Because he told you what protein synthesis is. He explained mechanical tension to you. He explained what a metabolite is. You know, you've been watching his videos about electrolytes. Now you've started salting your food. It's his progress, bro. Like, there is no, if that's your mindset, there is no such thing as your progress. Because even if you watch someone else in the gym and then you do an exercise and you go off that, no, that's their fucking exercise. Did you Google how to bench? That's their progress, bro. Like, the only way to be truly without any form of any form of like shared progress would be if you just went into a field and started lifting rocks and completely figured it out. And even then, I could make a case for, hey, bro, if you didn't have that field or those rocks, you wouldn't have that progress. That's kind of their progress, bro. I don't know. That's Mother Nature's progress.
And especially if you are a coach, how you look is even more important, isn't it? So you should actually be getting help from somebody in order to look better. Like, I don't know how it's still an unpopular opinion, but for some reason, there's people that think that how you look as an online coach or a personal trainer doesn't matter. And it's fucking ludicrous. Otherwise, you're basically a driving instructor without a license, a financial advisor who's homeless, or an actor that's never actually fucking been in anything. You don't have to have the best possible physique. Like, our physiques aren't amazing, but it needs to be at least average. It needs to show that we've both come from like skinny as fuck and put on a lot of muscle. That shows that we know what we're talking about. We don't look the absolute best. We've got clients that look better than we do. Okay. But it's having a good physique is literally the thing that gets you in the door with a prospective client. They're not going to go to skinny as fuck Jack with taking the selfie with the fucking wristband, sweat thing over it. Like, they're not going to go to it. They might go to you. Like, they're not going to offer to pay somebody that has no idea what the fuck they're doing. And if you're a coach or a PT and your physique hasn't changed in the last year, like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you literally handicapping your business like that?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I do whenever anyone is like interested in being a coach or PT is I'll be like, go and like get in shape. Like, if you've been training for a little bit and you've got a bit of body fat on you, get lean, show off the physique you have already. If not, commit to a growth phase and nail it. And again, if you like, you don't need to be huge because your physique is never really done. Like, you're always working on it. So it's like, you know, if you procrastinate showing your physique until it's done, it's never done. Like, even me and Luke could have been like, oh no, I'm not going to launch the business yet because you know, 2026 I'll look even better. Like, fuck that. But if you can showcase like, here's me making progress, doing the do, here's my process, like, you are the best client you will ever have, because if you tell yourself to do it, you can fucking just do it. Like, if you're struggling with like, oh man, if only my clients would listen to me, if only they'd follow through on the fat loss. Okay, well, you can do that. So why don't you lead from the front and do that? Get lean, get big, whatever it is, get strong. If you show, hey, if you listen to exactly what I tell you, you can make this progress, because you'll listen to everything that you say, hopefully, if you're not a fucking idiot. Then and it's like the classic thing
that immediately discounts at least 70% of coaches. That's
true, man. It's like people say like, no one wants a fat PT, and it's like, that's fucking, it's blunt, but it's true, man. Like, if a PT cannot get themselves to lose weight, then how the fuck are they going to help you? They might know all the theory in the world, but then if you turn around and go, I'm just so hungry and I crave cheesecake, what do I do? They'll be like, yeah, I hit that issue, I didn't really get around it anyway. Like, you literally cannot help them. You have no value. You are as valuable as ChatGPT. If you ask ChatGPT, how do I lose weight? It'd be like, eat less shit, move a bit more, cool. Maybe track your food, maybe exercise more, sick, brilliant. You can do that. And like, a shit PT can tell you that as well. But if the PT has no real world thing of like, I tended to eat more of this, I pushed my food towards the back end, I would macro track, you know, certain treats for myself, or I'd have an untracked meal once a week, or if I felt I was craving, I would simply up my water, I would play around with this, or I just tell myself, I'll set a timeline on it, 8 weeks of no takeaways, and afterwards I'll start to add them back in. Even something like that of a little bit of real world advice goes so far. Otherwise, again,
say somebody was like 400 pounds overweight, if they got themselves to 200, like, that's fucking great. Like, they've absolutely got some shit that they can help people with there. They don't have to be in the best possible fucking shape, but they need to made a good amount of progress.
that advice will vary between like the practical and the psychological. They'll be like, yeah, I tended to like, I found that I wasn't hungry in the morning, so I'd have a coffee and I'd try and push back my breakfast as late as possible. That might not work for someone else, that might work for someone, that might work for someone or others. They might even say, I just looked at myself and I just said, I can't keep on going like this. And even then, just understanding, like, they psychologically linked what they were doing with the outcome they wanted. And that's how they were able to do it. Because every time they felt hungry, they would go, this is me getting leaner. This is me stopping being 400 pounds. It's going to feel weird. And that's okay. And almost taking a, a better relationship with hunger, not fearing it, being like, it's okay. I'm eating later. I can just be hungry now. Again, even things like that. But if you are saying to people, follow what the fuck I say and you'll get this result, if you can't follow what the fuck you say, you can't get anyone the result. Like, if I can't get myself to grow in this off season, how the fuck is anyone going to trust me to grow them? Because if I ask a client to do something, there's the chance they might not do it. If I ask myself to do something, I can make myself do it. So, like, if I need myself to do more volume and spend more time in the gym or do whatever, just put more effort into it or sleep more or whatever the fuck, there's no loose connection there. It should just be, I do it. The first thing you need to do as a coach or PT, if you want clients, is fucking like coach yourself or get a coach, which is probably better for most people starting off because you'll actually learn more as well. But showcase that, like, you can create something and the best person that you have is you. People always go, oh, I've got no clients, I can't demonstrate my value. It's like, you're the client, bro. Like, if you want to get like a really fucking good start to your coaching, go hire a coach who's very good at their job, hand your stuff over to them, learn from them, see what they do. Don't treat it like it's gospel. Ask them questions, learn from them, get in good shape, document it, bang. Suddenly you've got one great client transformation. Yes, you can use yourself as a client transformation. You still fucking did it. And you learned from that experience. And then you've still got one client transformation. You've got a hell of a transformation. You can talk about it all the time. People build entire careers off of one transformation,
Yeah, going back to what you said there about like losing weight and the psychological side of it, like that it's not just, oh, you eat too much. There's so many reasons behind why people do that. And understanding those, it's not that they like want to be fat. Like, there's some people that will eat too much because their fucking mum's died and that's the only way that they can deal with it. Like, that's you can't just say, oh mate, just put the fork down though, you'll be okay.
People generally understand enough to get some level of progress, right? People understand if they go to the gym and they do some exercises that they've seen on, like, they know what a bicep curl is, they know what a bench press is, they know what a squat is, roughly. They can go in, see a leg extension, look at the machine, read it, understand it. People know if they do that, if they consume more protein, they're going to start to build muscle. Lads who are skinny know if they eat more, they'll start to gain weight. Cool. They don't know the super ins and outs, but that's okay. They know enough. So you need to then ask, okay, if I've got someone who's skinny, who knows they need to eat more, and I've told them they need to eat more, and they said, yes, I know, then what's my value as a coach? It's getting them to do it. Because it's like, like fucking, do you know that Rich Piana quote where he'd tell people to eat more at expos? Do you know the one I'm going to say? Oh, no, he doesn't. Sorry, fucking mic issues. So Rich Piana used to, like, people... What's that?
I just left it on mute, that's all.
Oh, well. So like, people come up to him at the expo and be like, oh, Rich, mate, I eat 6, 7, 8 meals a day and I'm not getting any bigger. He'd be like, okay, you eat 7 times a day. Yeah. They'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, okay, try eating 8. If that doesn't work, go to 9. If that doesn't work, go to 10. And like, that's very, like, in terms, obviously, like, you're kind of confusing calories with meal frequency, but whatever. The point still stands as, like, he's just saying, fuck, just, I don't care, eat more. If you're not eating enough to gain weight, it's as simple as go and fucking eat more. And like, yeah, practically that's the advice. But what they're really saying is, I know I need to eat more, but I'm struggling to eat more. And that's why people justify it by saying, I'm eating so much, there must be something wrong with me. But that's your job as a coach, is to go, no, you're not eating as much as you think, or yes, you're eating a fair amount for you, but You know, there's a way to eat more, and here's how you do that. Your job as a coach is to practically give people a way around it. And that's where having a good idea of nutrition comes into it, because you can understand digestive rates, you can understand satiety, you can understand how to manage someone's protein, and maybe that you can run it lower as carbs get higher, etc. Or you can, you know, generally how to manage someone's appetite, or even just having a very basic understanding of like insulin and ghrelin and things like that. Like very, very basic knowledge of nutrition. You can give someone the ability to eat a bit more. But that's your job as a coach. It's not to just say, go do this thing, because otherwise, like, people can just Google. If someone's like, how do I get big biceps? Like, the internet will just say, do a bicep curl, write it down, and then do a little bit more each week. Cool. Like, eventually your biceps will grow. Sick. Everyone knows that. So then you have to say, okay, if everyone knows that, why don't people want to do it? It's like, I'm sure I've spoken about this before. Oh, sorry, I'll let Luke speak in a sec. If you took your average person on the street and you were like, hey, I can give you like a 6-pack and biceps, and I can do it overnight, they'd be like, fuck yeah, bro, give it to me. Like, hell yeah. Like, your average person, if I said, hey, I've got like a special Ozempic which works once and lasts forever, you know, like, would you want to take it? There's no side effects. I think a lot of people would say yeah. Or if you said I could wave my magic wand, maybe people would trust magic over drugs, whatever. A lot of people would say yes. If you stopped your average person and say, hey, do you want to lose a bit of fat? If you could, they'd say yes. So then you have to go, what stops them? They go, I really like cheesecake, or I hate the gym, or I'm really stressed from work, or I'm just so busy, or I've got kids and I eat, like, you know, they never finish their food, so I feel bad, I don't want to waste it, I eat off the plate, or my budget's kind of strapped, so I eat a lot of work, I eat a lot of work, and like our lunches are always huge, and like, you know, like whatever, or they're just like, I just get, you know, horrible binge restriction cycles or whatever the fuck. Like, that's what you're dealing with, and that's the restriction. It's not just like, it's not as if you go to someone, hey, do you want to lose weight? And they go, yeah. And you go, okay, you see that you're in the chip shop, walk out, go get a salad. They'll be like, oh shit, does that work? Oh, fucking hell, then I'm off, bro. Right, see ya. People understand that. They know that if they're in a chip shop, it's probably not the fucking healthiest food in the world. It's probably fairly high calorie. You can look on the back of a Coke and see that it's like 4 times your RDA of sugar. We all fucking understand that. So you're not teaching people anything new. It's the how that matters.
It's very rarely a knowledge problem.
Yep.
Like, people say, oh, I need to know more information. It's usually not that, to be honest.
Yep. You get like, often with, it's like I was saying, I told you, like I was talking to Kane Taunton about it. It's like, having a lot of knowledge is a tool to have, but it's not, how do I describe it? It's only a useful tool if it's the restriction. Like, having a deep understanding of things, like obviously the people that like Luke works with, because Luke mainly works in person. For people that haven't picked up already, you do a lot of in-person stuff. People come to you and they'll be like, I have a shit knee. That's when Luke going, okay, well, I know the ins and outs of the entire fucking knee. Perfect. But if someone rocks up and says, I want big quads, and you go, how's your knee? And they go, fine. A lot of that knowledge is going to be kind of redundant. There's going to be, you know, an element of prevention there. But the same way that like us understanding intolerances or understanding managing someone's cholesterol just doesn't matter if there just is no concern. If someone's eating healthy and they've got great cholesterol, I don't need to go in and start like educating them on HDL cholesterol. There's just no need. It's already fine. If someone's
Tell them about it anyway, mate, see what happens.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, bro, you feel fine. Run bloods anyway. Like, or we've just run bloods and they're fine. Fuck it, run them again. Like, the same way that if someone's knee is functioning fine, Luke can't see any faults with how they're moving that could potentially cause them issue. There's no reason to be concerned. Okay, then there's just a whole bunch of knowledge we don't need to touch on. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have that knowledge, because applying knowledge to someone is still very fucking useful. You know, if someone comes across your table or whatever the fuck, there will be issues that perhaps they don't even know about. They might go, yeah, my knees are fine. And then you look at the way that they lift and you're like, I'm not sure for how much longer if we continue on this way, but okay, you're quite new to lifting. You know, I can see this being a potential issue. Or they lift for 2 weeks and then they start to complain of knees or whatever. It's like clients can come to you and not know that they're pre-diabetic or pre-hypertensive. And you need to be like, oh shit, maybe we should watch out for this. Like, this is a bit of a concern. I remember I had one client who, like, his resting heart rate was like 30 BPM and we didn't know until we started measuring it. And I was like, holy shit, go to see a fucking doctor.
Yeah, that's low as fuck.
Yeah, concerning though. But yeah, these are the things where like I think people either fucking hell, I repeat myself on podcasts, don't I? People either apply high level knowledge to everyone pointlessly, and make sure that we're being so preventative in things that don't even matter and they've never been an issue and they never will be an issue, or they'll just apply absolutely zero knowledge and just be like, damn, your knee hurts, okay, I guess we'll just train legs like once every 4 weeks. And it's like, that might not be what they want.
Just enjoy the knee pain once every 4 weeks, mate. We need to do so
Yeah.
much volume in that one session to make up for the 4 weeks you haven't.
There was a guy that I followed who he'd be like, I train legs once every 3 weeks because that's how long it takes my knees to recover. And I was like,
We tried not training like a bellend.
yeah, bro. I'm like, how are you going to grow your legs then? Like, there's going to come a point where you do need to grow them and they do need more volume. And like, also, like, how the fuck are you going to cling to your legs in prep? That's surely nowhere near enough volume. Like, when you're in a very harsh deficit, particularly where you're going to be doing a lot of cardio and a lot of expenditure through your legs. But anyway, knowledge is something
that's why a lot of people shit on like subpar machines, is that they don't actually train that well and can't make them feel very nice.
Yeah.
Like if I had to do my leg days at the gym group, I could do it fine. Like it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, I train out of a Pure Gym every Saturday or Sunday. It's probably going to be every Saturday and Sunday. And like, yeah, if I walk into my usual bodybuilding gym with kind of crap knees, I can just hop on something that feels great initially. Cool. I can look at a machine and go, that's probably going to feel better than that. Cool. But just because if I have to then train legs at that Pure Gym, I still can. Like, there are still ways that I can manipulate their leg press to feel good. I can still manipulate their leg extension to feel okay. I can still, I can set up a Smith squat or a barbell back squat or a lunge in a way that feels fucking fantastic. It might not be my personal favorite. Like, I'd rather do like a pivot leg press. It's one of my favorite movements for quads. Cool. They don't have one. That's okay. But there's still a way to overcome that. Again, yeah, people do shit on machines. Like, there's a shoulder press in there, which is really weirdly angled. It's like kind of very diagonal. And I see a lot of people come off it and like complain of shoulder pain, and I'd be like,
you ever thought not using it?
Well, I think because of the way that it moves, you could set it up to feel nice. You'd have to tweak it quite a lot, but like you definitely could. You could make pretty much any shit piece of kit feel good. But again, equally, yeah, you could just like make your own setup on a cable or do a dumbbell or barbell exercise as well.
But
yeah,
we definitely need to do an episode on. We don't have time for it now because I'll go on like massive rants. But coaches being like anti-Ozempic, or GLP shit in general, and educators like about training that have never actually fucking trained anyone. Because it really grinds my fucking gears. I'm not gonna lie.
The anti-Ozempic one is interesting. I won't go into it today, but it's definitely interesting because I think a lot of people would probably expect us to have an anti-Ozempic take, and yeah, we don't. So that's kind of I can't really elaborate without going into it, and this being like a 3-year episode. But
Paul said something hilarious the other day. He goes, "Ozempic's more likely to steal your job than ChatGPT." And I'm like, yeah. Well, and this is giving you guys a bit of a teaser for the next episode, but it makes that psychological component way easier, which is the reason that most people struggle. It's not the knowledge thing of losing weight. Most people know that they shouldn't eat a fucking Domino's pizza and 4 cookies. Like, you don't have to be a retard to work that out.
I think I also think if the only value that you have is getting people into a calorie deficit as a coach, then yeah, like if that genuinely is the only value that you have, because there is more to nutrition than just like creating calorie deficit. And I think also like helping someone long term with their relationship with food is also a very important skill, and people can't remain on Ozempic forever. So there's still a role for a coach. Again, it's like when ChatGPT started coming out, people are like, oh my God, I'm fucked. And I'd be like, well, if you're really threatened by AI, I don't think you really know how well you do your job. I don't think you understand this job that well. That's the only value that you have to give, because there are other things that we can offer as coaches. beyond just an ability to like get someone into a calorie deficit, but there's obviously life after the calorie deficit, there's health during the calorie deficit, there's managing training, there's general enjoyment of the process, there's managing nights out and alcohol, etc. So there's a lot more to coaching than just like, yeah, psychologically helping someone in a calorie deficit. It's great and it's huge, but it's not the only thing we have to offer. Like if someone comes to us and we say eat less and they start doing it, me and Luke aren't like, oh shit, they've got us figured out. Like, no, you know, me and Luke can adhere to a calorie deficit and yet still remain coached for vast periods of time, because again, there's more to that than just that, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, brother. It's always I think the only people who, to be honest, when more things like that come out, I'll quickly like wrap up on this. When more things like Ozempic and ChatGPT come out, I think it does make the industry better, because the people whose only value was that.
Very shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like if your only merit was those things, they are taken away from you now, and now you do have to be like, being a coach is a very multi-dimensional job. There's a lot of things you have to do. Like if you said, hey, how did you benefit this client, to me or Luke, if you picked a random client from us, like if I said that to Luke, I'd probably need to give him 10 minutes to think of all the ways he did, and then I imagine halfway through explaining some, he'd think
mate, it works.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, lifespan shortened, blood markers fucked. You know, what other benefits are there to being coached? You know, but in all seriousness, though, like,
as you work with, that might be what you get. Fuck, you know.
Yeah, true. But yeah, there are like, it's a very multifaceted, multi-dimensional thing in terms of like the benefits that we give, and it's very person dependent. And I'm not worried about Ozempic, because I think if anything, it unlocks the potential of working with a coach for a lot of other people, because it's like, okay, now you've removed that psychological restriction of hunger. Now we've got, you know, we've opened the avenue for you know, working on other things, because there's always other things to work on, and you can now work with a nutritionist because you're not fearing hunger. You can start to tidy up your eating. You can start to focus on better quality of food, better knowledge around food, better relationship with it, managing nights out, etc., etc.
You know, when we said we weren't going to do that today, right?
Oh fuck yeah.
Well,
Anyway, right,
you guys have got a preview for next episode then. Jeez.
Oh boy, we need to hate on the industry more as well, mate, like I said in person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because people fucking love that. We know what we hate on the industry. To be fair, I sent that Paul Carter episode to someone because they sent me a Paul Carter reel, and I just sent the whole catabolic window episode we did on him to them. We should maybe do another one on 5 to 8 reps and literally title it that, because I think too many people are asking me that. We should do like a 10-minute special on like 5 to 8 reps and just shit on it. We should make a reel as well out of it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, mate. Fucking hell. Right. I think we're going to wrap up there, mate. Is there anything you want to kind of run through or chat about there? Or do you want to leave it?
You're a prick.
Nice. I am a prick. So that's worked out, actually. That's perfect.
Jeez.
Right. Thank you everyone for listening. If you want to get coached by Luke at LacticAddictLuke on Instagram, if you want to get PT'd by him, drop him a message. I'm sure he'll fit you in. It's £100 per minute. It's brilliantly priced.
Absolutely.
If you want to work with me, Jack_Archer Academy, I'm also £100 per minute. I work 24/7, so I'm very expensive. Literally, like I'm doing your plan every minute of every day, bro. Come on, trust me. So only £100 per minute. If you want clothing, BuiltNotBorn.store, use code Lactic10 or Archer10. Lactic10 gives you 10% off. Archer10 puts 10 holes in the clothing. YouTube, Spotify, all that good shit. If you guys want any particular content from us, just holler. Check out the shorts on YouTube. Fucking any final words, mate?
Fuck bitches, get money.